Hello everybody, it's the 10th of January today. Just out here a little walk with Cooper, and I thought I would show you this rather splendid cedar, which I often admire as we walk along this little stretch of the canal. Cooper don't like walking on the gravelly bits, but he finds walking on the grass is okay. But what I really wanted to show you, because I'm going to go home, and if the weather holds, I'm going to try and work on my large birch today, is a birch tree that's just a little bit further ahead. So, yes, just up ahead is this, what could have been a glorious silver birch, which has had the most appalling pruning job done, and I thought I would just show you that before I go back to work on my birch, so that when I try to explain what I don't want my birch to look like, you will have a better idea. Let's just zoom in. As you can see, it's been lopped and chopped and allowed to recover in a way. I mean, I loves me an ugly tree, but yeah, it's not good. That's not what I want my bonsai to look like. There's another one here that's almost as bad, but not quite. I like my trees to look natural, but I guess once chopped, it's grown naturally. But there's natural and then there's natural. There's another tree there that's had its top lopped off, reduced in height. Not good. Not a good look. Right then, Doobie. Cooper do. We're gonna head back now. Come on. We're going back now. Come on. Time to go. Good boy. Always leave them wanting more. A quick look at that tree from the other side. It isn't any better, sadly, although the cedar still looks good from here. I apologise for the wobbling as I'm walking. Okay, so I'm back home, and as I said, I'm going to be looking at this birch tree. As I move up the trunk, you can see it's quite tall now, but it hasn't grown as branchy, for want of a better term. Hasn't grown as many branches, as I would have liked. And I'm really not happy about this particular top area here. So I'm going to chop it down some, but before I do that, I want to clear the pot a little bit, because that's not looking so great at the moment either. We've had a lot of rain after that very cold period. The pot is very weedy, very mossy, covered in needles from the larch which sits nearby, and covered in a lot of moss, which regular viewers will know I'm really not a big fan of moss, and I particularly don't like it on the trunk, where it can sit wet when we have wet weather like this, and basically rot the bark, letting in all sorts of disease and things. So I'm going to start cleaning it up using this little, well, it's a wire brush. It's not a
the harshest wire brush you've ever seen in your life, and it won't particularly harm the bark, but it does do a good job of pulling the moss away, especially with this little end piece. Gets right in there, in between these roots, which I don't want to sit wet. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but the cattle up the road are making a terrible racket today. Maybe it's the wind that's spooking them a little bit, I don't know. Whatever it is, they're being very loud. Part of the joy of being in the country, I guess, is that the wind can give you the sounds of the country, sometimes the smells of the country, especially when they're muck spreading in the field directly behind the house. But there you go. You can't have everything, I suppose. Okay, so that's better. So that's cleaned up the top of the pot a little. Now I'm going to use a nylon brush. It's just got slightly softer bristles, and I can really go to town a bit more on these roots, clean out the last bits without worrying about damaging them too much. I really like the root base on this tree. Let's give you a bit of a close-up on that. Said it many times, I guess, but not conventional. It doesn't have perfectly radiating roots. What it does have is an interesting set of roots that says we're here and we're holding on to this patch of soil. It's ours and you can't have it back. We're just beginning to see on the bark beginnings of the markings that will eventually this tree will become a proper silver, and I'm really looking forward to that. Before I work my way any further up the trunk, I want to get rid of some of these little shoots that have grown up. Some even have buds are bursting on them, but I don't want them anymore. Well, I don't know whether I particularly wanted them then. This tree has already got quite good taper and relatively interesting movement. Now all fingers and thumbs, but get in there a bit tighter. Okay, so that's that little bit of the job done. So let's move back out. Cooper's decided to come and join us, which is nice. He's going to pretend he didn't just knock a pot off the wall. Luckily it wasn't a nice pot, it was only a plastic training pot, and the tree and pot have survived. Okay, so as I say, back up to this top portion, and what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to keep this first branch such as it is, I think. I'm going to take this wire off. Done its job, although I have to say I'm still not entirely happy with that branch, so I am going to cut it back quite hard. At least that part. And I'm going to remove that piece. And shorten this piece, which is far too straight. I am quite tempted to take it back to a bare trunk, but I'm not going to give in to that temptation. I'm quite pleased with the taper and things. I just need to do something about this ugly piece up here so that it doesn't end up looking like that tree. We saw it earlier in the video. The problem with these big trees is they're hard to get in video all at one go, as you've probably noticed, but also when I'm working in this part of the garden up on this slightly higher bench, I'm almost not tall enough. I'm wondering whether I lose all of this back to here, or I lose all of that and use this, which will actually bring the tree back over the root with a little more. First job is, I know I want to lose all of that, so that's easy. And then I appear to have made a decision. In fact, I have a nice fat bud just there, which I'm going to chop back to. Still not entirely happy. I have a bulge here, a definite bulge, and I'm wondering whether I wouldn't be better to prune past that. I'm going to prune past that. And we will see, come spring, what that does to the tree. Now it's going to force some branching, for sure. Will we be in the right place? Not necessarily. But one advantage of pruning now is birch can bleed quite profusely if you prune them when the sap is rising in sort of early spring. So by getting it done now, hopefully the tree will not bleed too badly, wasting energy. We shall see. Okay, so there's the tree all in one shot. Cut back quite harshly, but set up for spring now, I hope. I'm not repotting it this year. It'll stay in that pot for one more year, and we will see. As I say, there will be a video in the spring to show you whether or not we've actually achieved the aim, trying to get some lower branching. So there we have it. Thank you so much for watching. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, the commenting below. Let me know what you think. But most of all, please, 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 stay safe, everybody.